Indonesia, the land of myriad beauty and cultural diversity, myths and legends, love and life, all are intertwined in the following performance of traditional contemporary dance depicting various cultural attractions and folklores from Sabang to Merauke, from Miangas to Rote Island. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the modern art cultural show Bentang Budaya Nusantara. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace be upon us all. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, and a very good morning to all of you. Thank you very much for being here in Jakarta, our beloved city of Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the meeting of governors and mayors of ASEAN capitals and ASEAN Mayors Forum 2023, hosted by the Jakarta Special Capital Region in collaboration with the United Cities and Local Government Asia Pacific. It is a great honor to welcome all of you here, policymakers, leaders, experts from all over ASEAN, exchanging views and ideas and collaboration at the city levels, and also to address multifaceted urban issue to ensure a fair transition to sustainable future through collective action. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Rahma Alia. It is a great honor to be the master of ceremony today, and also would like to express your gratitude for your presence, your support and contributions that will make this event a resounding success. And ladies and gentlemen, before we begin our event today, allow me to introduce and also welcome our honorable guest today, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, Her Excellency Retno Marsudi. Selamat datang, Ibu. And also would like to welcome the Acting Governor of Jakarta Special Capital Region, Mr. Heru Budi Hartono. Also selamat datang, Bapak. The Secretary General of ASEAN, Dr. Kau Kim Horn, welcome to you, sir. And also Secretary General of UCLG Asia Pacific, Dr. Bernadia Chandra Dewi. Selamat datang, Ibu. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests who are attending today's event in person and virtually. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this momentous occasion marks the beginning of the meetings of governors and mayors of ASEAN capitals and the ASEAN Mayors Forum 2023 here in Jakarta, August 1st, 2023. Please give a big round of applause to show the unity or spirit for this incredible morning. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let us start with our first agenda for today. We invite our first speaker to deliver the first welcoming remarks, the Acting Governor of Jakarta Special Capital Region of Indonesia. Please welcome Mr. Heru Budi Hartono.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Tentunya yang kami hormati, kami banggakan Ibu Menteri Luar Negeri Republik Indonesia, Ibu Retno Marsudi. Terima kasih atas waktu Ibu di dalam kesibukan Ibu sehari-hari sudah bisa hadir. Sekretaris Jenderal ASEAN Dr. Kau Kim Horn, Direktur Jenderal Bina Administrasi Kewilayahan Kementerian Dalam Negeri Republik Indonesia, Dr. Andes Afrizal SAMSI, Sekretaris Jenderal United Cities and Local Government Asia Pacific, Ibu Bernadia, para duta besar negara sahabat, para anggota Forum Komunikasi Pimpinan Daerah, Pak Kejati, terima kasih sudah hadir. Pak Kapolda atau yang mewakili, Pak Pangdam, para gubernur dan wali kota negara anggota ASEAN dan negara sahabat, Bu Menlu di sini juga hadir Ketua Apeksi, Pak Arya Bima, berkenan menyapa Ibu Menlu. Di belakang Ibu. Hadirin yang saya hormati, tentunya selamat datang di Jakarta, miniatur Indonesia dengan keberagaman suku, bangsa, dan budaya. Saya merasa terhormat menyambut Bapak dan Ibu sekalian selaku delegasi ASEAN Meeting, di mana hari ini adalah Meeting of Governor and Mayor of ASEAN Capital and ASEAN Mayor Forum 2023 atau MGMAC and AMF di kota yang menjadi tujuan jutaan penduduk Indonesia untuk menggapai masa depannya. Tahun ini pemerintah Provinsi DKI Jakarta menyelenggarakan rangkaian acara MGMAC dan AMF 2023 pada tanggal 1 sampai dengan 2 Agustus 2023 dalam rangka mendukung keketuaan Indonesia di ASEAN yang mengangkat tema ASEAN Matters Epicentrum of Growth. Kami selaku pemerintah kota dan daerah di Asia Tenggara memiliki sebuah tujuan untuk mendukung keberlanjutan relevansi ASEAN dalam merespon tantangan kawasan dan global, serta memperkuat posisi ASEAN sebagai pusat pertumbuhan ekonomi kawasan untuk kemakmuran rakyat ASEAN dan dunia. MGMAC diinisiasi pertama kali oleh pemerintah Provinsi DKI Jakarta pada saat kepemimpinan Bapak Joko Widodo sebagai Gubernur DKI Jakarta tahun 2013. Sejak saat itu, MGMAC diselenggarakan setiap tahunnya, berotasi mengikuti keketuaan ASEAN untuk menyalurkan aspirasi pemerintah kota dan daerah untuk mendukung perwujudan visi komunitas ASEAN 2025. Sejalan dengan tema kekuatan Indonesia di ASEAN, MGMAC dan AMF 2023 di Jakarta mengangkat tema Catalyzing Regional Growth through Sustainable Development in ASEAN Cities, di mana kita akan berbagi ide, pengalaman, praktek terbaik, serta bekerja sama mendukung pembangunan kota yang berkelanjutan melalui pembahasan topik-topik prioritas terkait pertumbuhan ekonomi inklusif, transformasi digital, pembangunan berkelanjutan, dan aksi iklim. Tujuan pembangunan berkelanjutan serta tata kelola peningkatan kerjasama. Kami mohon kiranya pemerintah Republik Indonesia sebagai pemegang keketuaan ASEAN tahun ini berkenan menerima aspirasi kota-kota di ASEAN yang dibahas di dalam MGMAC dan AMF 2023. Kami percaya bahwa pembangunan kota yang berkelanjutan akan mendukung tujuan kita bersama, memperkuat posisi ASEAN sebagai pusat pertumbuhan ekonomi kawasan untuk kemakmuran rakyat ASEAN dan dunia. Tentunya Pemda DKI mewujudkan ini keberagaman dan persahabatan dengan ASEAN sudah kami tandakan pada tahun 2016 Bu Menlu, Pak Sekjen ASEAN, di mana kantor Bapak sekarang adalah diberikan dari aset pemerintah daerah kepada Ibu Menlu yang kami cintai dan diteruskan sebagai kantor ASEAN. Jadi pemerintah daerah sudah menunjukkan kebersamaan membangun persahabatan ASEAN dengan menandakan gedung ASEAN adalah diberikan dari pemerintah daerah DKI Jakarta. Semoga kantor itu bermanfaat untuk kita semua. Selanjutnya, mohon kiranya Ibu Menteri Luar Negeri Republik Indonesia berkenan memberikan sambutan dan membuka secara resmi Meeting of Governor and Mayors of ASEAN Capitals MGMAC dan ASEAN Mayor Forum AMF 2023. Selamat mengikuti MGMAC dan AMF 2023. Semoga Anda semua memperoleh pengalaman berharga selama berada di Jakarta. Demikian, sukses Jakarta untuk Indonesia. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us move on to our next agenda. It is my pleasure to call upon the Secretary General of ASEAN to take the place on the stage and deliver the welcoming address from the representative of ASEAN. Please welcome His Excellency Dr. Kao Kim Horn.
Excellency Reno Masudi, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia and ASEAN Chair 2023. Excellency Budi Hartono, Acting Governor of Jakarta Special Capital Region, Dr. Zafrizal Zal, Director General, Ministry of Home Affairs, Excellencies, Governors, Mayors from ASEAN Member States, Permanent Representatives of ASEAN Member States to ASEAN, Dr. Benida Aravati Jadra Davi, Secretary General of UCLG Asia Pacific, the United Cities and Local Governments, distinguished guests, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am truly honored to be here with you this morning in this vibrant capital city of Jakarta for the meeting of governors, mayors of ASEAN capital, MGMAC or MGMAC, as well as the ASEAN Mayors Forum, AMF 2023. I wish to sincerely express my appreciation to MGMAC and AMF for inviting me to deliver these open remarks at this important event. The ASEAN Chairmanship theme for ASEAN Matters Epicentrum of Growth under Indonesia this year is highly relevant and important, given the increasingly complex and multifaceted external situation confronting ASEAN at the moment. While the region has gradually moved out from the COVID-19 pandemic, the international community continues to be threatened by rising inflation, extensive fiscal tightening, as well as the impacts of climate change, which have disrupted the production of global commodities and driven up food and energy prices. Despite these challenges, I believe ASEAN has emerged stronger, safer, and more resilient as a community. The region is expected to register solid growth. The forecast of 4.6% in 2023 and 5% in 2024. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, ASEAN today is home to over 670 million people and is the world's fifth largest economy, with a combined GDP of almost $3.7 trillion in 2022. Moreover, the region's population is slightly over the 51.2% urban threshold. Pursuing smart and sustainable cities development can therefore further contribute to greater regional growth and development, as well as greater social economic outcomes. In this regard, I would like to use this special occasion to congratulate His Excellency Joko Widodo, President of the Republic of Indonesia and ASEAN Chair for 2023, for the successful convening of the 42nd ASEAN Summit in Labuan Bajo in May of this year. Many of the decisions made during the 42nd ASEAN Summit related actions and promoting the capacity of cities and local governments, including, among others, protection of migrant workers, development of electric vehicle ecosystem, the need for digital transformation, the building of climate and disaster resilient communities. Of course, also we had the One Village Network and the One Health Initiative as well, all of which are critical issues to be discussed at this forum. The ASEAN Smart City Network, of which all ASEAN capitals are members, provides a collaborative platform where the major cities can work together towards the common goal of smart and sustainable urban development. In this regard, I'm pleased to note the successful convening of the 6th ASEAN annual meeting, which was held in Bali recently, just on July 12th of this year. Likewise, the ASEAN Sustainable Urbanization Strategy helps ASEAN cities to prioritize their sustainable urbanization actions, as well as develop comprehensive action plans or viable proposals relevant with their unique context. Both initiatives complement each other, especially in catalyzing opportunities for innovative, inclusive, and sustainable urban development. Cities will therefore need to find the right combination of technologies, policy, and partners to suit their own priorities and journeys. To support such a vision, the ASEAN Secretariat convened a multi-stakeholder platform, the ASEAN Sustainable Urbanization Forum in 2021, to bridge the knowledge sharing and regional policy development, focusing on resilient recovery in cities, while promoting connectivity and learning opportunities for the ASEAN member states, ASEAN cities, and of course, ASEAN people. A second ASEAN Sustainable Urbanization Forum is now being prepared and scheduled in 2025. With the vital role of cities in driving and spearheading the transformation needed towards sustainable development, the ASEAN member states would also need to build the capacity of their cities and municipalities to promote pathways toward low carbon and climate resilient ASEAN. The pursuing carbon neutrality goes beyond environmental considerations. It also about economic transformation. Based on a recent study by Boston Consulting Group, embracing carbon neutrality transition could bring up to $5.3 trillion in economic value to ASEAN and attract up to $6.7 trillion in green investment, which would then generate up to 66 million additional jobs by 2050. Indeed, investing in green and clean technologies to foster long-term growth is pivotal. In addition, smart urban planning, citywide renewable energy adoption, as well as the implementation of circular economy practices should be encouraged as an essential step toward a sustainable future, especially in developing regions like ASEAN. Enforcing sustainability in all dimensions across ASEAN cities will require a whole-of-community approach and thereby reaffirming ASEAN's continued commitment to leave no communities behind. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, another way to achieve a low-carbon economy is to undertake digital transformation. The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the pace of digital transformation in the region, with 400 million active internet users today. The ASEAN digital economy is projected to grow significantly and is estimated to reach $1 trillion for the regional GDP by 2030. Such potential has prompted a feasibility study on an ASEAN Digital Economy Framework Agreement, which is due for completion and to be adopted at the 55th ASEAN Economic Ministers meeting this month. The launching of the DEFA regional negotiation will be a significant achievement in ASEAN regional integration journey, as it will make a pioneer in advancing a legal binding digital economy agreement. Based on research by the UN Habitat, ASEAN cities are forecasted to drive 40% of the region's growth in the long run. Recognizing the push for greater digital transformation in cities, national and local governments should identify their priorities and needs, as well as deciding on the approaches that are relevant for the respective national and local context. This includes effort in strengthening data governance and data interoperability, as well as digital inclusivity and digital literacy for the people. These efforts will ensure resiliency is forged in urban areas, which eventually enhances regional stability. ASEAN, on its part, has consistently been working industriously to further equip the resiliency of towns and cities in the region, notably through the ASEAN Comprehensive Recovery Framework. One example is the Smart Green ASEAN Cities Prep Program, which was launched virtually in 2021. It aims to directly contribute to reducing environmental and carbon footprints of selected ASEAN cities, while promoting energy efficiency and renewable energy. Another initiative, the Digital Financial Literacy for ASEAN Policy Note, which was also launched in 2021, aims to equip the people in the city with sufficient financial literacy, thereby enhancing their financial inclusion. The guideline contains an effective framework of policy recommendations to support policymakers and regulators in understanding, developing, and facilitating policy, and designing intervention directed at advancing the digital financial literacy of the people, particularly at the local level. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the MGMAC and AMF can be credible platforms to deepen and broaden collaboration and partnership among ASEAN cities and local governments, as well as to catalyzing the collective efforts in attaining the ASEAN Community Vision 2025 and beyond. I would like to commend the actions and commitment made by cities and local governments in ASEAN member states through these two platforms in supporting the ASEAN community. I wish to take this opportunity also to thank the governor. Actually, yes, the ASEAN Secretariat based here in Jakarta. We have the beautiful two buildings, the new one, of course, also the heritage building. At the moment, we have more than 420 staff working in the new building, but also we have the heritage building that are hosting the supporting staff from also the dialogue partner countries supporting the BREST project. And I can say also that the ASEAN Secretariat also has attracting a lot of interest, particularly from our external partners. And that's why we refer to Jakarta as the ASEAN capital. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. In fact, on that note, I always encourage the external partners that they have their embassy located outside the region to move to the ASEAN capital here in Jakarta. Some have it somewhere way far away, and they have the ambassador created to ASEAN. I would say move to Jakarta. So it's easy to work here. We have so many ambassadors that are created to ASEAN. At the moment, we have, of course, including the ASEAN member state, more than 100. So you can see this is really the center of diplomacy also in the region. At the same time, I'd like to encourage greater intercede this partnership in ASEAN to produce more tangible outcomes through pooling resources, knowledge, expertise, and capitals together. Only through synergized cooperation can we achieve the vision of ASEAN, a community of opportunities for all. In closing, may I urge all governors and mayors and the constituencies that you respectfully lead and manage to work together to build smart, resilient, and sustainable ASEAN cities for ASEAN people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kao Kim On. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the next agenda, allow us to present a short video. In 2024, the capital city of Indonesia will relocate to IKN Nusantara in East Kalimantan, and certainly there will be dynamics for the MGMAC as well as AMF, and we are very excited to support this development and changes. So without further ado, please enjoy a glimpse in this video, a future for the capital city of Indonesia, IKN Nusantara. Yes, please give a big round of applause for the future capital of Indonesia, IKN Nusantara. Now, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, we will move on to our next agenda, which is very special. Our special honored guest, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, will deliver her welcoming remarks, and subsequently we will also continue with the official opening ceremony by striking the Rebana. So without further ado, join me to welcome Her Excellency Retno Marsudi.
the Secretary General of ASEAN, Dr. Ko Kim Horn, Acting Governor of Jakarta, Pak Heru Budi Hartanto, Excellencies, Ambassadors, distinguished governors and mayors, a very good morning and welcome to Jakarta. And first of all, I would like to convey warmest regard from President Joko Widodo to all of you. He hopes that you will have a good meeting today and tomorrow and enjoy your stay in Jakarta. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, last year, Indonesia presided the G20 amidst very uncertain world situation where position gaps among members were very wide, especially related to the war in Ukraine. Indonesia listened to all views, and we tried to build bridges among or amidst differences. With the support of all members, finally, a declaration can be adopted, and Indonesia was able to ensure that the G20 remains in full function. This year, it is Indonesia's turn to chair ASEAN. The challenges that we are facing is more or less the same. The uncertain world, war has not ended yet, great power rivalries, and unstable economic projection. Another challenge faced by ASEAN is the situation in Myanmar. Colleagues, when governors and mayors meet, for sure, you will discuss how best you can serve your people by having exchange of views and best practices, by empowering each other, and by strengthening cooperation. The ASEAN Charter starts with the word "we, the people." It means that the people should always be at the center of our work. And this is precisely what Indonesia would like to prioritize during its chairmanship, to maintain the role of ASEAN as a locomotive for peace and stability, to make ASEAN matters, which means that the people can enjoy life in a peaceful environment, and to maintain Southeast Asia as an epicentrum of growth where the people, once again the people, can enjoy prosperity. There are many important roles that the governors and mayors can do to support in making ASEAN matters epicentrum of growth. At least there are three main agendas that should be pursued. First, health resilience. The pandemic has shown us that strengthening regional health architecture is essential to prepare for future pandemic and other health emergency. This needs mobilization of adequate resources and collaboration among all relevant stakeholders. And this is why an important focus of our ASEAN chairmanship is to strengthen health cooperation, including through One Health Initiative and the ASEAN Response Fund. Second, food security. We have seen how wars and conflict have caused scarcity of food and rising prices of basic necessities. We also face many food-related problems, from stunting, failed harvest due to climate change, and high level of hunger. Against this backdrop, Indonesia chairmanship will also initiate an initiative that will build regional mechanisms to strengthen food security, regional supply chains, and sustainable agriculture. Both local and national government must play their part to support this by ensuring food availability, accessibility, and utilization. Third, energy transition. Colleagues, green economy is the future of our region. To realize this, accelerating energy transition is key. Indonesia has set an ambitious target, 23% energy mix target from renewable by 2025 and net zero emission by 2060. ASEAN is also committed to achieve 23% renewables share in energy supply by 2025. Not only for sustainability, this transition is imperative for ASEAN economic transformation. Key to this transformation is developing downstream industries, including one that manufacture EV batteries. In summit last May, Indonesia chairmanship also placed great emphasis to develop a regional EV ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier you were presented with a video on Indonesia's new capital, Nusantara. This is a manifestation of Indonesia's commitment to its transformation into a more inclusive and sustainable future, as IKN will be Indonesia's first carbon neutral city in 2045. The fate of our promising future rests in our hands. Our joint action today will matter much tomorrow to fulfill our long-term vision, ASEAN 2045 vision. And by working together, can we achieve a more inclusive, robust, and resilient region? I would like to remind once again that the core of our work is we the people. And you can also observe from the lyrics of ASEAN anthem, among others mentioned, for peace, our goal from the very start, and prosperity to last. So, with this, I now wish formally open ASEAN Mayors Forum and meeting of the governors and mayors of the capitals of ASEAN once again open. And thank you, and have a productive discussion.
Thank you very much, Ibu Retno Marsudi. Kindly stay on the stage, Ibu. Just kindly move a little bit forward in front of the podium as we'll continue with the opening of MGMAC and AMF 2023. And to join Ibu Retno Marsudi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, we'll now invite the following governors and officials to please join us here. Mr. Heru Budi Hartono, Acting Governor of Jakarta Special Capital Region of Indonesia. Also, His Excellency Kau Kim Hoon, Secretary General of ASEAN. Kindly also join us on the stage. Mr. Atsat Pangtong Sifandon, Governor of Vientiane, Lao PDR. And Dr. Bernadia Chandradewi, Secretary General of UCLG Asia Pacific. And Mr. Dakila Carlo Ekua, Governor of Quirino Province, the Philippines. And ladies and gentlemen, the official opening ceremonial marked by striking the rebana. It is a musical instrument, very traditional to Indonesian and found as well in the Betawi culture, which is the indigenous culture of Jakarta. And rebanas are now being distributed to the officials on the stage. And this opening ceremony will be marked by striking the rebana. Okay, for big events and celebrations, especially for special and important events, we use the rebana to mark this magnificent and very important events to all of us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready with your rebana? Okay, be ready to strike it. Under my lead, 3, 2, 1. big round of applause for the MGMAC and AMF 2023 that is now officially opened. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now present the panel session or panel special session with the topic of ASEAN Matters Epicentrum of Growth. And plenary session will be conducted and moderated with moderators and speakers representing cities, organizations for local authorities and the ASEAN itself. Now the discussion focuses on the theme of Indonesia's ASEAN chairmanship, ASEAN Matters Epicentrum of Growth. And ladies and gentlemen, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia is now leaving the room. Thank you very much, Ibu Retno Marsudi. And for the panel special session, the theme comprises of two aspects. The first aspect, ASEAN Matters, focuses on ASEAN as an effective, responsive, and transformative organization which is relevant and is able to address current and future challenges, both for long-term and short-term. And more importantly, ASEAN must be beneficial to the people in the region and the world amidst the rapid changes brought by various recent developments. Now, the second aspect, the epicentrum of growth, focuses on the importance of strengthening resilience and connectivity as a foundation for survival, particularly in the fields of food security, energy security, financial stability, global connectivity, and health services. Now, in line with the objectives of the 2023 Indonesian ASEAN chairmanship, cities and urban areas play key roles in contributing to the development of Southeast Asia as a global epicenter of growth and prosperity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, according to the study of the United Nations, there are 68% of the world's population that will live in cities by 2050. Now, the cities have always been the centers of economic activity, drivers of growth, and advocates of prosperity and productivity. Now, however, city dwellers are exposed to high levels of air pollution, resulting in a considerable number of premature deaths each year. Now, many cities are also highly exposed to floods and storm surges, and climate change is likely to increase their magnitude and frequency. And we're talking about ASEAN, where we are also living in the ring of fires. As a result, the material damage and the lost life in cities due to floods and storms will worsen if no actions are taken. Key challenges for cities in the next decades will be how to reduce air pollution, limit exposure to natural hazards, and transition to a low-carbon economy. And ladies and gentlemen, in response to these challenges, the Jakarta capital region and government is collaboration with the United Cities and Local Governments of Asia Pacific as the host of ASEAN Mayors Forum Secretariat organizes the meeting of governors and mayors of ASEAN capitals, or MGMAC, and ASEAN Mayors Forum, or AMF 2023. Now, this event invites governors, mayors, policymakers, and experts to discuss, and feel free, because what we want is a sustainable growth that includes everyone through collective actions. All right, we'll proceed to the plenary session now. I will invite the moderator and all panelists for this first session. The moderator, the Secretary General of UCLG Asia Pacific, Dr. Bernadia Irawati Chandra Dewi, please welcome to the stage. And also I'd like to invite the panelists. Go ahead, Ibu Bernadia. And now the panelists. Panelist number 1, Mr. Berlianto Situngkir, Director of ASEAN Economic Cooperation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. Silakan Bapak untuk maju ke depan. And panelist number 2, Dr. Safrizal ZA, General of Regional Administration from the Ministry of Home Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. Please also come forward for this panel session. Yes, please welcome to the stage. And panelist number 3, Mr. Nuon Parot, Vice Governor of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Please also join us on the stage. Next panelist number 4, Mrs. Nuraini Ruslan, President of Klang Municipal Council, Malaysia. Please come forward. And the last but not least, panelist number 5, Mr. Dakila Carlo Ekua, the President of Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines and Governor of Quirino Province. And thank you, therefore, I would hand over this special panel session to Ibu Bernadia Chandra Dewi. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Very good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And very pleased to have here and join this plenary session. I really hope that you enjoyed the opening session that went very, very well. And all distinguished governors, mayors, and all representatives from ASEAN countries and also ASEAN++. Welcome once again to this plenary session. I'm pleased to have all these distinguished panelists here with us. Let me maybe introduce briefly each of the panelists. We have Mr. Berlianto Situngkir. He's an active diplomat and he's currently the Director of ASEAN Economic Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Indonesia. He holds the position since January 2020, and he graduated from postgraduate degree in International Relations and Affairs from the University of Indonesia. Welcome. I also like to welcome Dr. Safrizal. I happen to know him quite a long time. Actually, his daughter did internship in our office. So welcome, Dr. Safrizal. He holds the position as the Director General of Regional Administration at the Ministry of Home Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. He graduated with a doctorate degree in Government Studies at IPDN Institute. Prior to serving as the Director General at the Ministry of Home Affairs, he also held the position of Acting Governor of South Kalimantan Province. I think it's good to hear from you also when you run as a Governor of South Kalimantan, how you applied what you learned at the ministry and the real world. Yeah? Thank you, welcome. I also like to welcome Mr. Non Porat. He's a Deputy Director of Phnom Penh, who is also new generation, young, and he's only 42 years old. And I also like to thank Phnom Penh for successful deliberation of the MGMAC and AMF 2022 in Phnom Penh. Thank you, Deputy Governor Non Parat. I also like to welcome the only lady in the panelists today is Mayor Klang. Actually, Klang is the largest port in Malaysia. And Mayor Nuraini Ruslan has been the mayor for more than 5 years, actually. She is urban planner. So welcome once again to this panel session. Last but not least, let me also welcome one of the youngest governors in the Philippines, and Mayor Dakila Carlo Ekua. And he's also the president of the Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines, ULAP, and Governor of Quirino Province. Welcome, Governor, for to these panels. Let me highlight what all the speeches said today. ASEAN is the epicenter of growth. And we understand the importance of collaboration, partnerships, and we are pleased also to have representatives from central government, from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Home Affairs, and also of local governments here. And I think I also like to highlight this is also what Minister Retno mentioned, the importance of people. How can we create a people-centered development with emerging challenges that we are facing here? Despite all the challenges, we see also cities have the opportunities and also solutions and innovations. Let me go to the first questions to Mr. Belinto Sitongkir. I once again to congratulate the government of Indonesia for a successful conduct of this ASEAN Summit in May in Labuan Bajo. And I think you pick up the important theme here, which is the ASEAN Matters, epicenter of growth. So maybe you could elaborate a little more, what do you mean by this epicenter of growth? And what the objectives of Indonesian chairmanships that will last until end of this year? You have a floor.
Thank you, Ibu Moderator. I will try to respond to your concern briefly. That's true, Bu. Our chairmanship this year, we carried out the theme of the ASEAN Matters, Epicentrum of Growth. So this theme, of course, we try to address or to respond to the current situation, Ibu, global challenges in the midst of the global geopolitical tension, geo-economic tension also, Ibu. Then we describe our theme, the ASEAN Matters Epicenter of Growth, into three main pillars. So of course, as already mentioned by our foreign ministers, this is aimed to prosper, to create, to develop peace and stability in the region and to prosper our people in the ASEAN. So the main pillar, the first pillar is ASEAN Matters. This is to signify that ASEAN remain important and relevant to the region. Second, the importance to maintain unity so that ASEAN can continue to play its vital role in developing or in keeping the peace and stability in the region. And then, of course, the importance to see the future, Ibu, especially 20 years ahead. So our target is to increase the ASEAN capacity in 2045. And then, of course, the institutionalization of human rights dialogue. And the last thing is, from the ASEAN Matters, is strengthening cooperation to combat trafficking. So that's for the first pillar, ASEAN Matters. Now, let me share with you the second pillar of our theme for the ASEAN chairmanship, is the epicentrum of growth. So as an economic region, of course, ASEAN has a great potential and assets, Ibu. So our economic is the 5th largest in the world right now, with total GDP up to $3.3 trillion US. This is based on the data in 2021. And ASEAN is also the 3rd largest market in the world, with a population of more than 650 million people. So it's a big potential market. And ASEAN now has become a very attractive spot in the world economy. So economic growth has consistently continued, and it's relatively, the growth is bigger than a global. In ASEAN itself, the economic growth is 3.98%. This is way far from the global, which is only 2.6% per year. So for this reason, so the spirit of epicenter of growth strive from ASEAN to continue to be the center of the growth of economic and the sustainable. So to generate steady growth, resilience is also need to strengthen by our priorities of cooperation. So as already described by our foreign minister, the first is the strengthening health architecture. And the second is strengthening food security. And third is the strengthening energy security to support the energy transition. We are achieving the green energy right now. And then lastly, the strengthening financial stability in the region. And the last pillar of our theme for this year's chairmanship is the implementation of the ASEAN Outlook ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific. So stable economic development requires the stability in the region and the surrounding ASEAN, especially in the Indo-Pacific. So thus, Indonesia takes on the role in leading ASEAN to create stability in the region through concrete implementation of the ASEAN outlook on Indo-Pacific. This year, Indonesia following up the initiative with a more concrete program, Ibu, that we are going to organize the ASEAN Indo-Pacific Forum as our flagship event during our chairmanship. So the forum will be held during the sidelines of the ASEAN 43rd Summit in September in Jakarta. ASEAN Indo-Pacific Forum will consist of infrastructure, creative economy, and youth forum, as well as the business and investment summit. So those team and those projects are our concrete deliverables, once again, to assist ASEAN in keeping the region as stable and secure as possible for the prosperity of the people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's join me for a big applause to Pak Sitongkir for an excellent contribution here. You see, ASEAN has a big potential as a fifth economic scale in the world. I think this is a lot of things that you highlighted, how important is this ASEAN as the epicenter of growth. Thank you so much. Let me go now to the Dr. Safrisal. You were the governor as well, and you are back to the role in the Ministry of Home Affairs. You have seen the challenges that cities have been facing, despite this a lot of uncertainty that we are also having right now. But we also have to believe that we have a bright future. So considering the potentials and challenges of this faced by cities and local governments, what do you think of the significance of cities and local governments in supporting ASEAN? I think we all clear that local governments are the closest body to the community, and we have the ASEAN vision of building ASEAN community as one. So could you maybe elaborate more how local governments can play a role here? Please.
Yeah, thank you, Bu Bernadia. Long time not see you, yeah? Yeah, in line with ASEAN Chairman 2023, in line with that, right now, I am a chair the organization under the ASEAN chairmanship, named ASEAN, ASEAN Smart City Network. For 2023, ASEAN led me to lead this organization, and 2 weeks ago, we have led a meeting on Bali, Jimbaran, with national representative of ASEAN country, and also with CSCO, we namely CSCO, chair of CSCO, Smart City Officer. There are 26 local government joined to ASEAN membership to face the challenge of city problem. Because right now, the urbanization is one problem that facing all city in ASEAN. Right now, the population of city of ASEAN, I think not only the city, the country of ASEAN, more than half live in the cities. And we predicted we have another 90 million people move to urban by 2030. This is a challenge because the rapid urbanization creates a challenge such as congestion, strained infrastructure, pollution, lack of affordable housing, and socio-economic inequality that we're facing right now by city. Furthermore, the fulfillment of basic urban services such as housing, drinking water, sanitation, and also public transportation are necessary. So, in other hand, nowadays the phenomenon of technology affect all aspects of human life. So, the progressive development of technology increase sharply year by year to keep up the human need for technology. We endorse, we support the government and also the local government should have a strategy to face that challenge. Many governments around the world are racing to infuse and involve assisting the Internet of Things in every aspect of city operation. Yeah, that is used by government to face up the major challenge in city or urban area management. And also government are making cities are smarter than before by using technology, using data. Right now we know the big data in services.